After the end of Roe v. Wade, the decades-old legal precedent that codified the right to abortion, many began to worry about what other rights the Supreme Court might do away with next. Top of mind for same-sex couples was the 2015 ruling that legalized marriage nationwide and afforded same-sex couples the rights and protections that come with marriage, including the right to make decisions for your children. To protect that right, many couples have resorted to legally adopting their own children, a path attorney Joyce Kaufman told GBH News she recommends to concerned parents.
We should not have to adopt our own children. I mean, it is insulting and ridiculous to have to do that. But my feeling is it's an insurance policy. It's like you want to protect your parentage, you do an adoption.
But the process can be costly and timely, especially for same-sex parents. GBH's Hannah Reale has covered this issue for GBH News, and she joins me now. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Tell us why this is happening, why the overturning of Roe v. Wade set off alarm bells for these families, and why they're adopting their own kids.
So, I mean, fundamentally, any of these attorneys would tell you they have always recommended this. This is the, as many advocates like to call it, the belt and suspenders approach. You want to basically have everything shored up as much as possible when it comes to your own kids. Mm-hmm. You want to protect them. That's the idea. But with Roe v. Wade, the basic idea, there was some just fundamentally, I'm scared. If the court is overturning 50-year protections, what else can they overturn? But also there was a specific line that Justice Clarence Thomas put in his concurring opinion to this ruling, where he pointed to same-sex marriage. And he said basically that there was flawed legal reasoning underpinning that decision too. So people feel as though we could be heading towards a system where some states recognize your marriage, other states don't. And that puts your parental rights in those states on shakier ground. That's just some uncertainty a lot of people aren't willing to live with.
So what are these parents concerned might happen regarding their parental rights?
There are some situations, traveling to other states, if you don't have your paternity or parental rights, whatever you might want to call it there, shored up completely, it's kind of fine until it's not fine is the mentality of these lawyers and advocates. So if you go on a vacation to Florida to go to Disney, it's okay unless you get in a car accident and the non-biological parent has to make medical decisions for your kid. And if they aren't legally recognized as the parent there, they wouldn't be able to do that. So there are these sort of disaster scenarios that they just really want to be prepared for. There have also been some high-profile court cases in other states that have to do more specifically with custody. So people being worried that the biological parent, in the cases of like sperm donors, egg donors, surrogates, would get preference over the non-biological parent. So wanting to get that all shored up so that there aren't any questions. There's no lack of clarity.
For sure. How much is this an issue in Massachusetts? Is it largely about traveling out of state, or are there concerns here?
It is for a lot of people top of mind when it comes to traveling out of state, seeing people in other states. But also if the biological parent passes away, you don't want there to be any ambiguity. There's not too much actual law on this matter. There's a lot of case law, but not too much actual law. Those laws haven't been updated since about the 80s. So there's a lot of questions about, how might things go in these disaster scenarios, as well as simple things like, getting your kid on your health insurance. If it is a situation where you're not technically recognized as the parent, there are a lot of bureaucratic processes that really rely on having these parental and marriage relationships totally unambiguous and clear.
So they're adopting their own kids, and that adoption process is not easy or inexpensive.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's about $2,000 a kid is like a rough estimate for these scenarios. And these are the most straightforward adoptions you can get in a lot of cases. They waive the homestay requirement on a lot of the time. There's a lot of things that you don't have to pay the thousands of dollars for that other parents who are adopting do have to pay. So that's kind of why you see that not every couple chooses to do this. Actually, most couples don't, because this belt and suspenders approach, it feels like, okay, I've already got the belt of, my name's on the birth certificate, what might be. The idea of paying $2,000 for the suspenders can, be really a high price for a lot of families.
Do we have any idea how many parents are actually doing this?
So every year, the data is so scant. I can tell you that the 10 attorneys I talked to said it's happening a lot more since last year. But also there were about 450 adoptions last year that are generally this category, but that would also include things like step parents adopting their kids.
Okay.
But those numbers are really tough.
In just the moment we have left, there is an effort underway to update laws in this state to define who a parent is, right?
Yeah, so there's something called the Massachusetts Parentage Act that attorneys and advocates have really been pushing for. They basically, like I said, these laws haven't been updated in decades. They want to just open up the options to parents to make these, give basically options like a voluntary acknowledgement of parentage to everyone, which is something you'd sign at the hospital. And it would hopefully, in their minds, have the same legal force as an adoption when you cross state lines. Just make it as simple as possible and try to clear that up. And just to be clear, this isn't just for same-sex couples. This is for heterosexual couples who use sperm donors, egg donors. This applies a lot more broadly than just unmarried or married same-sex couples. There's a lot here that is it's kind of like a patchwork with our parentage laws, and people who do this day in, day out really want to get that sewn up.
So interesting. GBH's Hannah Reale, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Craig.